Sound speeds, and welcome to another reaction video. Now, why do I keep doing these things? Well, it's very simple. I'm receiving more positive feedback from these than any other content I've ever done on this channel. So I'm going to continue to do them as long as they're going over so well. And I am turning down some. I still have quite a few I need to get to. And so let's waste no more time and actually get to this one. This video that was sent to me to react to happens to be produced by one of my friends, Tom Buck, who as of the time of this video has 122,000 subscribers. Now, Tom's video is called How to Easily Record Great Audio Outdoors. It has 53,294 views and it was released on July 30th, 2020 in the middle of the COVID shutdown. And as of the time of this video, has 1.3 thousand up views. Oh, I hope that Tom gives good information because I don't want to be mean to a friend. Okay, let's watch it.
Anytime you're making a video, it is important to remember that what your audience hears...
Gosh, his production value is just really good, isn't it?
...see, which means you should never underestimate the importance of audio.
It's very visually awesome to watch.
This is the Enthusiasm Project, and today we're going to take a look
Enthusiasm Project? I thought that was the name of his podcast. I guess this is... I don't know. I mean, I thought the Enthusiasm Project was his podcast. Maybe I just don't know what I thought I knew.
Relatively budget-friendly options to help you get good sounding audio when you're filming outdoors. And I do want to start off just by emphasizing that this is not a sponsored video. The reason for that is because everything I'm going to use today is a Rode product, but that's just because that's
what you have. Yeah,
what I bought.
That makes sense. It's funny because a lot of the times I do the same kind of things in my videos. I use a lot of the Rode NTG5 or the S-Mic 2S or something like that, or the S-Mic 2 rather, not the 2S. A lot of the stuff that I use, like including the Deity HDTX and the BPTRX, I use it because I have it and it's convenient. I will quite literally record more quickly on the HDTX if I need to record a boom pole outside than I will be to take out the Mix Pre 6, unless I'm recording something that requires a very clean noise floor.
Where to invest my money, that was the road I decided to go down. So we're gonna head outside in a second, but I want
caption down there said ROAD
because it is currently
100 spelled wrong
degrees outside and I don't want to melt. Now, obviously, when you're filming
104 degrees,
a few challenges present themselves. When you're in an environment
like heat,
right now, you can be in charge of everything. Background noise, echo, you can sound treat your room, you can position the microphone exactly where you want it, and you can just take control of everything. It's the beauty of a controlled environment. But when you go outside, you basically lose all control of that environment.
That's actually one of the biggest complaints that we have in the sound world is that sound is very difficult to control over a picture. I mean, as long as you can kind of control the lighting, like you can block out the sun a little bit, you can go into the shade, something like that, and you can still kind of control your lighting to a degree. Sound is one of those things where you're at the mercy of the sounds all the way around you in 360 degrees. Sure, there are some things you can do to kind of cue away from those kinds of background sounds that are noisy, but still, sound is much more difficult to control than light is.
There's the whole world of sounds out there, and as you know, if you've ever tried to film anything outdoors before, as soon as you press that record button, that's when the whole world decides to just conspire to ruin your recording and
that's
be
right.
Loud and annoying.
Speak the truth there, Tom.
Almost unlimited number of options to help you get around that. I'm working with a few things today that I happen to already have, but I think they're also pretty common tools that you might have as well, or you might have different versions.
I get it.
First is the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. Which
he has actually since this video, he has gotten an MKH50 from Sennheiser. The Sennheiser MKH50, it sounds much better in there than this Rode does. But guess what? You can still hear him just fine, right? You didn't know if you're used to Tom's channel and you're used to hearing on the MKH50, you might be able to hear the difference. But for the most part, you still heard him just fine, right? It's because he has a pretty quiet room. And the signal to noise ratio is working forever in his favor.
On right here, and this microphone, put that back up there. And this microphone usually sells for about $300.
Yeah.
We're also going to be using a lavalier microphone. You can get lavalier microphones.
The MKH50 is 4 times the price.
Hundreds of dollars. This is a Rode lavalier that costs about $60 or $70.
Yep.
Then we're also going to be using the Rode Wireless Go, which is about $200. And for the price, I have found this to be the best, least expensive wireless mic system. You might be able to find cheaper ones out
there. That's probably still accurate to this day.
Good.
For the price point. If it's that cheap, it's probably pretty good.
$30. This guy right here, the Rode Interview Go, which is not actually a microphone at all. We'll kind
You
of
mount
explain
that to the road,
Seems
though.
goofy,
Yeah.
but it's literally the thing that I enjoy using the most out of all of this stuff. So we'll kind of talk about that. Wasn't it super slick? I was gonna say how I didn't drop it and then I dropped it. So let's head outside into the heat and
That's why you gotta love Tom, because he's a lot. Just.
this is the on-camera
What is?
microphone.
What did he jump in for?
Probably doesn't sound too true.
I just. All right, this is why you gotta love Tom. He just jumped in there, just went all for it. So not only was the jump really weird, he's standing in the middle of a tree. So people always say beware of what is growing out of the back of your head. He just goes right in front of a tree. You gotta love it. You gotta love Tom.
And check out some of these microphone setups. This is the on-camera microphone.
Is he wearing flip-flops? Did he literally do that jump in flip-flops?
So let's head outside into the heat and check out some of these microphone setups.
Ah, you can't really tell. Let me frame it. Yeah, he's wearing flip-flops. That's the sound of flip-flops, isn't it? It flops. Okay, whatever.
This is the on-camera microphone.
I'm too much of a sound guy. I can hear the flip-flops.
Probably doesn't sound too terrific because the camera is about
And the wind noise and
away
everything.
from me. I'm over here.
What is
There's
that?
Wind and air conditioner
Oh,
sound.
is that? Those are just
A little
shadows.
closer to the camera, it probably does sound a little bit better.
Definitely not a Panasonic camera,
Ideal. So we have a few options.
because it wouldn't be able to focus nearly as quick.
Shotgun microphone. So this is the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus mounted directly onto the camera. Right now I'm an arm's length away from the camera, so pretty close to it, and this should be sounding.
What is it, a 27 mil lens or
It
something?
might not sound
25, 27, something like that?
It should definitely sound better than
At 2 feet away?
on camera, on
Maybe.
microphone. This is the on-camera microphone. But now let's look at a few other options. So the first of these options is a lavalier microphone, and you might be saying, hey Tom, why are you so close to the camera? And the answer is, well, because it has a wire on it, which is very short.
Ah,
And the audio quality should be better because it's positioning the microphone really close to me, but now I'm kind of stuck to the camera. If I had one, I could use an extension cable maybe to get a little further.
so that's what he's doing. Is he's basically demonstrating a lavalier microphone.
Subject is going to be
If you don't have a
to
transmitter
the camera.
and you're kind of stuck in this
Not my
very
favorite option for
close
outdoors,
shot.
even though you might notice the audio quality is significantly better. So now what I've done is I've taken that same lavalier microphone and I've plugged it into the Rode Wireless Go. So now
That's really weird to me because it sounded different. It sounds different than it did before. Like plugging it into the Wireless Go, it sounds more like more it almost sounds like it's more like out of phase. It's not technically, but it sounds like it's more distant. And like less detailed, and it's like it's hard to imagine. I mean, back in the old days, I would actually say it almost sounded like it was more out of phase, where it starts to kind of almost sound really awkward.
set.
Like listen to here, and then when he cuts out wider, if the only thing that's changing is he plugged it into the Go, I'm not 100% sure I like the way the Go sounds. Listen with headphones.
even though you might notice the audio quality is significantly better. So now what I've done is I've taken that same lavalier microphone and I've plugged it into the Rode Wireless.
Yeah, that doesn't sound nearly as good. The background noise came up a little bit, and it just sounds different. I mean, if your lav mic is literally placed in the exact same place, and it's the same lav mic, I like it better not on the Go system. Sorry, Rode.
Wireless Go. So now same setup, should be the best audio quality, eliminating all of the traffic and the wind and the air conditioners and gardening equipment, whatever might be outside, and keeping it right next to me the whole time. The beauty of that is
Yeah, the background noise sounds different to me.
still maintain that same level of audio quality. So no matter where I go from here, it should still sound the same.
Yeah.
And this is probably your best option for getting good quality audio outside a wireless lavalier system.
It depends on what you're going for, what kind of sound you're going for. It wouldn't be that difficult to set up a boom out there too if you're going to be relatively stationary. If you're going to be all over the place, going in front of and behind that tree, then absolutely use a lav.
System. But it really only works if
Or
you're
a
filming
handheld.
yourself or you're filming one subject. If you have more than one person, it doesn't really solve that problem because now you're picking up my audio, but you're not going to be picking up their audio. So let's look at a couple options for getting sound from more than one person outdoors.
Oh, wait a second.
So let's look at a couple options.
Tom, you're set your C-stand wrong.
Getting sound from more
Okay, he just corrected it. All is
than
forgiven.
one person outdoors. I am dripping.
The big thing I was going to say is when he first starts to set this up, if you notice what a C-stand does
Their audio. So let's
is
look at a couple options.
okay. You see where the screw is? this screw tightens this way and it loosens this way. So counterclockwise is going to loosen it. So if you mount a C-stand where the weight goes out like that, and it's going in the loosen mode, like if you put too much weight on the end of the stand and it starts to push down, it's going to weight down the stand over there and loosen the knuckle. You don't want to do that. If you want to flip it around the other way, that way that it tightens if it falls. So as it starts to settle in, if it adjusts a little bit, it tightens as it comes down. That's a much better way. And so right now he's going the wrong way. It's loosening as it falls. Then he switches it around this way. Wait a minute.
More than one person outdoors.
Yeah. So it looks like he corrected it.
My lovely wife Heather is my volunteer as a second person. Basically what we've done is we've taken the Rode video mic and I've plugged it into the transmitter for the wireless Go. So now the video mic is a wireless boom mic. We don't have a helper here right now, so this could be on a boom pole.
It's over him though. Put it over Heather too.
Sound check just so we hear what it sounds like to have two people talking from one microphone.
Yes. Mic check, 1.
You're
2,
off
2.
Access, Heather.
It sounds like 1.
Bring it over.
2.
We need to see Heather. We need to hear Heather more. So cue her more in the center of the microphone too.
You're better at that than I am. Now this option will work really well if you don't want the microphone to be on screen. So you can put it on the C-stand.
And then crop in or zoom in.
Out of frame and then no one's gonna see it. Works great if you're doing like filmmaking or making any kind of narrative.
Is that the same stand I have? If it is, then the back side of the stand right there actually has a 3/8/16 and a 1/4-20 thread, depending on which side, and you may be able to mount it directly up to there.
You just don't want a microphone on screen. If you don't have a C-stand and you don't have a boom arm and you don't mind the microphone being on screen, there's one other option for picking up sound from multiple people using a single microphone. And what you may or may not know is that
holding
with
it,
Wireless Go, the transmitter is
holding it,
its own microphone.
Yeah.
So talking into the transmitter right now. And that's where this Interview Go comes in.
Yeah.
So it's a plastic stick that's actually more heavy duty than you'd expect. And this clips right into the top, and then it basically becomes a handheld microphone.
Muffle those highs just a little bit.
And now I've got a wireless.
See, that sounds better. You see, it was so crispy on the top end. It had a lot of highs and mids. So by adding that windscreen, it tamed those a little bit. So now it sounds better, actually, in my opinion.
Microphone, which is great if you don't mind the microphone being in the shot.
Granted, that still doesn't sound great to me, personally. I just don't like the way it sounds.
And just real quick, I should mention you could boom this microphone, but this is a thinner handle than normal. So if you put it in a normal mic stand, it doesn't really stay that well. If you've ever
depends
used
on the stand.
like a shotgun microphone, they tend to be a little skinnier.
Yeah.
And the mounts for those fit right on this Rode Interview Go. I'm just like dripping sweat. It's crazy. So Heather, let's talk with this microphone. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's super hot out here, Tom.
Do you remember watching Game of Thrones?
It's focused on the background. It's like he has a Panasonic camera again. Focus on the talent. This is why he needs to have an assistant. Heather needs to be behind the camera to help him out, at least to focus it. Or he needs to focus it on her and then jump back in front of the camera because they're soft focus. It happens a lot on YouTube content creators. As for me, my channel's a sound channel. As long as I sound good, who cares how it looks? He's a camera guy, though. He's also a sound guy, but he's more of a camera guy. So it's less forgiving with Tom.
Yes.
The reason I bring that up is because...
Oh, wait a second. He starts off so strong. He does himself. And then the second he's on his last syllable, he cues to her to get her sound. Then he stays on him and he asks her if she remembers watching Game of Thrones. It doesn't go over to hear her answer.
How are you doing?
Bad technique, Mike. Or Tom.
Do you remember watching Game of Thrones?
Yes.
The reason I bring that up is because being outside, I saw a few crows, and I remember in Game of Thrones, they always had crows deliver messages to different villages and stuff. Do you remember this?
I do remember this.
He did it right that time.
I thought that was so cool because I love crows, and I thought it would be really cool to have a crow that kind of acted as your telephone, because then it would be my...
Okay, here's another thing that when you interview people, this is something I'm definitely very guilty of. Spending like 3 minutes asking a question that's a one-word answer. It's like, you remember this? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to talk another 2 minutes. That's me. I'm outgoing. I naturally talk. My daughters make fun of me anytime I do a live stream because they say you bring on like 10 people and all you do is talk at them for like 18 hours or whatever. So she says you got to let other people talk in there too. But he's basically doing what I do is spend so much time talking. You got to ask something that's kind of streamlined. And then when you interview, that's totally unrelated to what he's doing now. He's just talking about sound in general. I'm just kind of giving advice for something that I say to do, not something that I do. So do as I say, don't do as I do.
Microphone.
Did you want me to say something about that?
Whoa. Wait a second. I missed something.
Really cool to have a crow that kind of acted as your telephone, because then it would be microphone.
Microphone.
Say something about that. Was I supposed to laugh? Sorry.
So the
Such a wife, you know, oh, you want me to laugh at your joke?
is whichever method you're using, don't forget or underestimate the importance of audio in your videos. And of course, when you're filming outside,
Tom is very good at
pick
puns,
the
though.
best method on a budget for what you need to do so you can get the best quality.
Except maybe that one. That one didn't go over so well with her.
Is it a wireless system? Is it a super nifty handheld system like this? I think I want to be a news reporter now. Whatever works for you, just please
Got to work on that microphone technique a little bit if you want to be a news reporter. Sorry, Tom.
don't underestimate the value of high quality audio in your videos.
So yeah, pretty straightforward video. Nothing really, you know, no offense, Tom, but groundbreaking or anything. It's pretty much just standard. When people talk about different aspects of sound and stuff in videos, it's basically overhead miking with a shotgun microphone, lavalier microphone, and camera microphone. So you talked about them and you covered it fine. Your personality is why I watch your channel, though, man. So I mean, not to say like your information is garbage or anything like that. Just you're a lot of fun, man. I would love to meet you in person sometime. But yeah, the information was just fine. So really, no real problems or anything like that with this video. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of SoundSpeed. Be sure to tune in the future for more fun reaction videos, fun topics, whatever in general. Hopefully happiness, and as always, sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.